East Asia Forum, 11th of April 2024, Maldives-China defense relations endanger India's influence. China has subjugated the Maldives as part of its all-out assault against the Indian subcontinent. The bilateral ties between Male and New Delhi have deteriorated since Mohamed Muizzu, the president of the Maldives, won the election in 2023. Amidst Muizzu's sojourn in Beijing in January 2024, bilateral accords about infrastructure, energy, maritime, and agriculture collaboration were signed between the Maldives and China. The bilateral ties between the Maldives and China were reinforced in March 2024 by executing two defense agreements, wherein China pledged to furnish military aid. These agreements may not inherently alter the triangular relations among China, the Maldives, and India, as well as the regional security balance. However, this has caused concern, particularly in India. Considering the Maldives' resource constraints and status as a small nation, the country's pursuit of military assistance from China may be motivated by national security, maritime protection, or disaster management. China's assistance may fortify the Maldives' military capabilities. This may not be interpreted as a strategic maneuver to alter regional dynamics. However, China may engage in military cooperation as part of a larger plan to consolidate its power and reduce India's sphere of influence in South Asian nations. Muizzu has also requested that India begin withdrawing its military forces stationed in the Maldives. Concurrently, China has consistently increased its presence in the Maldives, as evidenced by $200 million worth of infrastructure projects, including the China-Maldives Friendship Bridge. Permission for the Chinese ocean research vessel Xiangyang 03 to enter a port in the Maldives provides additional evidence of China's influence. In addition, India is enhancing its naval capabilities on the Lakshadweep Islands, which are situated around 130 kilometers north of the Maldives and are of critical strategic importance. According to details disclosed by the Navy, by stationing a naval element on Minicoy Island, the Indian Navy intends to increase monitoring activities in the area. The Indian Navy made a public declaration in March 2024 regarding the augmentation of its military power on islands that are strategically significant in proximity to the Maldives. Established on March 6, the INS Jatayu commenced operations in the Lakshadweep archipelago of India. Designed to operate autonomously, it was recently commissioned. This strategic maneuver indicates that India is bolstering its naval capacities to sustain a state of alertness and proactively counter potential challenges. China's String of Pearls grand strategy significantly emphasizes the Maldives. China's endeavors to augment its sphere of influence by means of an intricate network of naval bases and commercial ports that encircle critical maritime routes constitute this strategic concept. From the Indian subcontinent, the Maldives is situated at a strategic distance of 1,200 kilometers, while the Lakshadweep archipelago is reached in merely 700 kilometers. The increasing Chinese influence in the Maldives near India gives rise to substantial security concerns. A prevailing perception exists that the implications of China's swift maritime expansion and military modernization in the Indian Ocean region have been underestimated by the international community. China is now willing to counterbalance Indian interests in the Indian Ocean and U.S. interests in the West Pacific due to its transformation into a global naval power. Due to its expanding influence in the Indian Ocean and its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, China may decide to establish a military presence there. The trends above are of great importance to India because China's actions could potentially limit India's operational space and diminish its traditional leverage with minor regional states. The potential establishment of a Chinese naval base on a Maldivian island could create a maritime front against India, intensifying military pressure along the Himalayan border and signifying a turning point in China's strategic encirclement of its neighbor. The Maldives has become a pivotal location in pursuing China's strategic objectives. The recent defense pacts and collaborative efforts between China and the Maldives highlight an emerging alignment that has the potential to fortify China's standing in the Indian Ocean. The Maldives, situated within India's sphere of influence, have the potential to bolster China's maritime capabilities and presence as an integral component of the String of Pearls. India should shift its focus from scrutinizing China's intentions to preparing for the inexorably arising repercussions of Chinese influence in the Indian Ocean. Many factors influence China's maritime endeavors, including commercial and resource interests, diplomatic deliberations, military and security considerations, and significant dependence on resources from the Middle East and Africa. China's strategic objective in expanding from the East Sea to the Indian Ocean is to erode the cohesion and robustness of the regional alliances comprising India. China has expanded diplomatic and commercial ties with numerous nations, including the Maldives, to secure energy routes through these regions. By emphasizing security partnerships, economic collaboration, and diplomatic engagement, India ought to strive to fortify its ties with the Maldives and counterbalance the influence of China. India must also prioritize the enhancement of defense collaboration with critical security partners such as Australia, Japan, the United States, and ASEAN nations in order to preserve a proactive position, protect its national interests, and mitigate regional security risks.